After Trae Young got dealt to the Washington Wizards last Wednesday, all eyes have been moved to Ja Morant and his situation with the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant, when he's at his best, is one of the top 10 point guards in basketball. But this season, he has been complete and utter trash. He has been awful. When he's on the floor, he's averaging his lowest points per game since his second season. He is shooting the ball. I mean, it's atrocious. The shooting splits are nasty to go along with his lowest points per game total since his second year. Another thing about Ja is even though, some of these off court antics might have calmed down a bit, especially recently, he's just not playing because the injuries are starting to pile up, which sucks because, you look at him and you look at his games played throughout his career. The man hasn't played more than 55 games since the 2022-23 season when he played 61. Since then, in the last two full seasons and the start of this one, he has played 77 games. That's less than one full NBA season alone. On the court, Ja Morant's been, obviously, like I said, it's been a shell of himself. Compared to years 3 and years 4 of Ja Morant, he's a horrible jump shooter. He might be the worst in the NBA. I mean, the man is shooting 20% from three in 18 games and 40% as a whole. You also have to wonder how much the Grizzlies coaching situation played a part with, Ja Morant and just the complete tear down of their relationship as of recent and just how things went on that situation. But in a way, similar to the Trae Young, the whole thing with him, I feel like whoever makes a move for Ja would be able to get him for pretty low value. Well, would it be CJ McCollum and, Corey Kispert value? I don't know. I think maybe it's a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to be a crazy type of trade where it's like 3-4 picks and, stuff of that nature. I think it'll be pretty low considering what you would have thought Ja Morant would have went for back in 2022 or something like that. A few places that I feel like Ja Morant can really fit in and maybe, turn this thing around, get back to being who he is. The first one for me was Minnesota. I just really think the idea of him being the lead guard with Anthony Edwards, with Julius Randle on a contending team, a new change of scenery, it'd be really nice because Minnesota's been looking for a point guard basically for the last 3 to 4 years. Mike Conley's been getting older and older, and they've been looking for that type of guy. And I feel like getting Ja Morant would be a nice buy low type of move from Minnesota. The other one for me is the Miami Heat. And the reason I mentioned the Miami Heat is because as of recent, it feels like the Heat are like the favorite to trade for Ja Morant in this whole sweepstakes, whatever that ends up being. And I feel like it's a good spot for him because the culture that Miami brings. Yes, Miami is a very tough city to play in when it comes to extra stuff going on, and you can maybe get a little bit into the fold of being part of Miami culture, the city life and everything like that, but the Miami Heat don't play those games. Pat Riley don't play those games. Eric Spoelstra does not play those games. If he goes in there, it's going to be really interesting if you see him play with Norm Powell or Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo and just get rejuvenated, get back to being locked in because the Miami Heat, we all know, you go over there, it's like the Army. It's like the Army of basketball. You are going there to get locked in, get right, play the sport the way they want to play, and do what you have to do your job, right? And I feel like playing with the Heat would be a nice spot for him to turn that around and get back to being who he is. And maybe it affects his play and he's back to being the old Ja Morant that we all know and a lot of people loved. There's also been other rumored spots like the Milwaukee Bucks, Sacramento Kings, the Brooklyn Nets, the Toronto Raptors. And I feel like Toronto is maybe the only spot out of those that I'm like, maybe it's worth it. The rest of them, I don't feel like it's worth it at all. I mean, Brooklyn, what's the point? I know, it'd be nice to maybe get a face in there, even though Michael Porter Jr. is having a pretty good year. But I don't think it's worth it for them. Sacramento, I mean, come on. You had De'Aaron Fox. You had Tyrese Halliburton. You get rid of Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis. Then you get rid of De'Aaron Fox in a 3-team deal, and you end up having Zach LaVine. And now you're going to go get Ja Morant when you could have just kept either or of Fox or Halliburton. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, it'd be the most Kings thing ever to trade for Ja Morant. I think they should stay away in any way possible from trading for Ja Morant. And not because Ja's a horrible basketball player or the talent's horrible. It's just not worth it. What's the point? What's the point of bringing Ja Morant to the Sacramento Kings? Come on. It'd be a waste of time. Just hit the rebuild button. Hit the full-on rebuild button. Just restart, blow it all up. That's what Sacramento should do. And as for Milwaukee, I guess on paper it would make sense, but like, come on. This would be like a last try, a last desperate try from Milwaukee's front office to really sell Giannis on the vision. Like, look, we're going to try to compete with you being on this team, and the era's not over. We are going to try to continue to win. And I feel like they'll trade for him. It'll be pretty low value, and then it'll really lead to nothing. They won't get that much better, and it'll be a waste. And I just think it'd be a waste of everybody's time. We already saw Giannis and Damian Lillard try to go out there and do their thing. They never really connected because of, I think Giannis he is more ball dominant than people think. Giannis is not like this pick and roll man threat that constantly is, being put into those actions as an offensive player. He's a guy that has the ball in his hands a lot, and he is dictating how the offense is going to go. He is bending the defense at any way possible. What is Ja Morant going to do? Stand in a corner? The man can't shoot. He can't shoot, and it didn't work with Damian Lillard, who can shoot. So what's the point? I wouldn't even try it. It's a waste. I think the only two spots that really, really make sense are Miami, and if Minnesota wants to take a swing, even though they're playing pretty good basketball right now, if they want to take a swing on it, they have the green light from me at least, and that's it. Everybody else I feel like should really it's not really worth a try. I don't know. Unless those teams are offering something that Memphis can't pass, then obviously Memphis has to do whatever's best for their franchise. But like in Ja Morant's best case, in his best interest, Miami, Minnesota are the two spots for me. And I think it would just allow Memphis to dig deep, maybe figure out how to retool the franchise and see what's out there for them in the future. I mean, maybe you start looking at a Jaren Jackson trade, and maybe you look at just rebuilding as a whole and seeing where it takes you, right? Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been a checkup, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.